Cary Grant, the suave and charismatic leading man of Hollywood's golden age, was known for his charm and effortless screen presence. However, behind the scenes, Grant's spiritual journey was far more complex than most realized. Born as Archibald Leach in a strict Protestant household in England, he later distanced himself from organized religion. For much of his life, he identified as agnostic, questioning traditional beliefs. However, in the 1950s, Grant became deeply involved in spiritual exploration, experimenting with LSD therapy, which he credited for giving him profound insights into the nature of existence and consciousness. He believed in the idea of a higher power, but rejected conventional religious doctrines. Grant's experiences led him to embrace a more personal and introspective spirituality, valuing love, self-awareness, and inner peace over strict dogma. His unexpected views on religion made him one of Hollywood's most enigmatic stars. Greta Garbo, the enigmatic Swedish actress of Hollywood's golden age, was known for her reclusive nature and profound sense of mystery. While she was raised in a Lutheran household, Garbo's beliefs evolved into something far more spiritual and unconventional. She became deeply interested in Eastern philosophy, particularly Buddhism and Hinduism, exploring meditation and mysticism as a way to find inner peace. She often visited ashrams and was fascinated by the concept of reincarnation, believing that the soul transcended beyond earthly existence. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Garbo rejected traditional Christian doctrines and instead embraced a more philosophical and introspective approach to spirituality. She also followed numerology and astrology, often consulting horoscopes for guidance. Despite her fame, Garbo lived much of her later life in solitude, believing that true enlightenment came from within rather than through external validation. Her unexpected spiritual path added to the allure of her legendary persona. Humphrey Bogart, the tough-talking, no-nonsense star of Casablanca and the Maltese Falcon, had a surprisingly complex relationship with religion. Born into an Episcopalian family, Bogart never strongly adhered to religious traditions and often described himself as more of a skeptic. Unlike many of his Hollywood peers who turned to faith for guidance, Bogart was known for his pragmatic and often cynical worldview. However, he deeply respected his wife, Lauren Bacall's, Jewish faith and even agreed to raise their children with Jewish traditions. Though he never fully embraced any single belief system, Bogart was known to ponder the philosophical aspects of life, particularly during his later years. His moral compass was guided more by personal integrity, loyalty, and honor rather than religious doctrine. While he didn't publicly align with any faith, Bogart's strong principles and deep introspection hinted at a man who, despite his skepticism, sought a deeper understanding of life's mysteries. Bette Davis, the fierce and unapologetic queen of Hollywood's golden age, had an equally strong-willed approach to religion. Raised in a strict Congregationalist household, Davis maintained a deep belief in God throughout her life, though her faith was far from conventional. She often credited divine intervention for her career successes, believing that a higher power had guided her through the highs and lows of Hollywood. However, Davis was also highly superstitious, frequently consulting psychics and astrologers for insight into her life and career. She had an intense fascination with the afterlife, believing that spirits could communicate with the living. Despite her strong faith, she often challenged traditional religious norms, embracing a more personal and individualistic approach to spirituality. In her later years, as she battled illness, Davis leaned even more on her faith, believing that her soul's journey would continue beyond this life. Her unexpected blend of religion and mysticism made her a truly unique figure in Hollywood. Katharine Hepburn, the fiercely independent and sharp-witted star of the Philadelphia Story and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, had an unorthodox stance on religion that set her apart from many of her Hollywood contemporaries. Raised in a progressive New England family with a mix of Protestant and humanist influences, Hepburn grew up valuing reason and individualism over religious doctrine. She openly declared herself an atheist, stating in interviews that she had no belief in God or an afterlife. Instead, she placed her faith in humanity, personal strength, and moral responsibility. Hepburn believed that people should take full ownership of their actions rather than rely on divine guidance or fate. Despite rejecting organized religion, she had a deep sense of ethics, advocating for equality, women's rights, and social justice. Her unexpected and unapologetic stance on faith made her one of the most intellectually fearless figures of Hollywood's golden age. Mae West, the bold and provocative star known for her sharp wit and risque persona, had a surprisingly deep spiritual side. Raised in a Catholic household, West never strictly adhered to traditional religious teachings, but maintained a firm belief in God and the power of the divine. She often spoke about her belief in the law of attraction, karma, and the idea that spiritual energy could shape one's destiny. West frequently consulted psychics and was fascinated by mysticism, astrology, and reincarnation. She believed that her success was guided by a higher force, often crediting her intuition as a divine gift. Despite her provocative image, she viewed sex and sensuality as natural expressions of human nature, not something to be shamed by religious dogma. West's unexpected spiritual beliefs, mixed with her rebellious attitude, made her one of Hollywood's most intriguing and controversial figures, proving that faith could exist outside of traditional boundaries. James Cagney, best known for his gangster roles in classics like The Public Enemy and White Heat, had a surprisingly traditional and devout side when it came to religion. Raised in a working-class Irish Catholic family in New York, Cagney maintained a strong connection to his faith throughout his life. Unlike many of his Hollywood peers, he never abandoned his religious upbringing, often speaking about the values instilled in him by his parents. However, Cagney also had an independent streak, questioning certain aspects of organized religion while still holding on to his belief in God. He was particularly drawn to the moral and ethical teachings of Catholicism rather than its rituals. Despite his tough on-screen persona, those who knew him personally described him as a deeply spiritual and kind-hearted man. His unexpected devotion to faith, mixed with his Hollywood success, made him a rare figure in an industry known for excess and rebellion. Jean Harlow, Hollywood's original platinum blonde and one of the biggest stars of the 1930s, had a complex and unexpected relationship with religion. Raised in a Christian Science household, Harlow was taught to believe in the power of prayer and spiritual healing rather than traditional medicine. Throughout her life, she maintained a connection to these beliefs, even as she faced personal struggles and health issues. However, as she grew older, she became more skeptical of rigid religious practices, choosing instead to embrace a more open-minded spiritual philosophy. Harlow believed in fate and destiny, often saying that life unfolded according to a greater plan. She was also fascinated by astrology and numerology, frequently consulting them for guidance. Tragically, her untimely death at just 26 shocked Hollywood, and some speculated that her adherence to Christian Science, which discouraged medical treatment, may have contributed to her fate. Her spiritual journey remained as mysterious as the star herself. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckling star of The Adventures of Robin Hood, lived a life as wild off-screen as he did on it. Raised in a Protestant household in Tasmania, Flynn grew up with a traditional religious background, but quickly rejected it as he ventured into adulthood. He became an outspoken atheist, often mocking organized religion and questioning the existence of God. Flynn believed that life was meant to be lived on one's own terms, free from religious constraints or moral dogma. He was fascinated by philosophy and often engaged in deep discussions about existentialism and the meaning of life, though he remained skeptical of any higher power. Despite his rebellious stance, he had moments of spiritual contemplation, especially later in life when his health began to decline. While he never fully embraced faith, Flynn's unexpected philosophical musings revealed a man who, despite his reputation as a Hollywood bad boy, still searched for deeper meaning in life. Olivia de Havilland, best known for her role as Melanie in Gone with the Wind, was one of Hollywood's most graceful and dignified stars. Unlike many of her peers, she maintained a strong and unwavering faith throughout her life. Raised in an Anglican household, she remained deeply religious, often turning to prayer for guidance and strength. De Havilland's faith played a crucial role in her personal and professional decisions, and she believed that her career was part of a greater divine plan. While she never imposed her beliefs on others, she saw spirituality as a source of inner peace and moral grounding in an industry known for its excesses. Even as Hollywood's golden age faded, she continued to live by her faith, frequently attending church and engaging in charitable work. Her steadfast devotion and graceful approach to religion made her one of the most respected and admired figures of classic cinema. Robert Mitchum, the brooding anti-hero of Out of the Past and Night of the Hunter, had an unconventional relationship with religion. Raised in a Methodist household, Mitchum grew skeptical of organized faith early in life, favoring a more philosophical and existential approach to spirituality. He often dismissed religious dogma, calling it a means of control rather than enlightenment. However, despite his rebellious, hard-living persona, Mitchum was deeply introspective. He frequently read Eastern philosophy, particularly Buddhism and Taoism, and believed in the idea of karma and universal balance. While he never fully embraced any particular faith, he often spoke about a higher order governing the universe. His philosophical musings, paired with his devil-may-care attitude, made him one of Hollywood's most enigmatic stars. Even in his later years, he maintained a detached yet deeply thoughtful perspective on life, death, and whatever came after. Gloria Swanson, the legendary star of Sunset Boulevard and one of the biggest icons of early Hollywood, had a deeply personal and evolving relationship with spirituality. Raised in a traditional Lutheran household, Swanson later explored a variety of spiritual paths beyond conventional Christianity. She became fascinated with Eastern religions, particularly Hinduism, and practiced yoga and meditation long before they became mainstream in the West. Swanson was also a strong believer in holistic healing and alternative medicine, often advocating for natural remedies and vegetarianism as a way to maintain physical and spiritual well-being. She saw spirituality as a deeply personal journey, one that emphasized self-discovery, inner peace, and a connection with the universe. Despite her glamorous Hollywood image, she remained deeply introspective and sought meaning beyond material success. Her unexpected embrace of mysticism and alternative spirituality made her one of the most unique and forward-thinking stars of Hollywood's golden age.